reminder chegiyo kain sena chikchina kongso dingiyo na mena de ngato group WhatsApp group yoro adini tata chi kachinangiyo chegiyo toko.
Okay. Good morning. I think we do our daily practice. That's the best, and then something we can add in our daily practice, maybe from these readings, teachings, and so Dharma practice is just an accumulation of something that more and more, on a daily basis we can. And should we
do prayer, opening prayer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Beginning on page 1.
Dewa dan den dunga dan tre nyorda la na me ba yang da ba re zo be shang ju ren bo je to ba
All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood.
Di che do sama ji je bardo lunga yi zong ge wa la go ma je bardo lung yi zong ge wa la go de de ren de song de ni ma san ta zam Bardo lunga yi zong ge wa la go.
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
Nam gen ta dan nyam be sim jen dam je jo je de ti xin xiu ba dam ji ji go zon to yo den chen le dan ji ngor ju wai ju ji pom bo dong zai ji ju zai yin jung Be gendu dam ji 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 nga da chen chen za dan ju ba ji bar den la ma dam ba nam la ja sun ji wo ye dan jin ko ro ji la zo na ja sun ji wo Jum dan de nam la ja sun ji wo dan be jo nam ja sun ji wo ba be gen de nam la ja zhen ji ba wen kan zhe ju zhong zong me to yi xi ji jian dan dan nam la ja zhen ji
All sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in the glorious kind Lama Vajradhara, the embodiment of the body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times, source of the 84,000 categories of the teaching, and Lord of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the idams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the idams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom.
Zhang zhe nying bo qi ji ba zhang jie nam la jiao zhen qi qi dan xiang jie sen ba ye co lan de xin jiao zi xi dan en ji de xie ji zhang jie to ne ji ba dan Zhang zhe shen bie la ba la, de dai ren ji ne ban dai, de jin zhe la pen ten de, zhang zhe zhen ne ji ji jin, de jin de ne la ba la, ren bai jin de la ba.
Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path.
Zhang ji ju dan zo ji jo nan la, zhang ju bar de dan ne jia zi jin, dan ge ji zo ji bie zi nan ji, zhou lai pen jie zhang ji zhou bai shou.
In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Ma nam ga dan yam be sun jian tang, de wa dan de wei ju dan
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Banzara Samanza, Banzara Samanza, Banzara Samanza, Malusum, Kunjin, Gonjoy, Jin, Dude, Bonje, Mezen, Jonzela, Muna, Malus, Jin, Jenjore, Jamden, Gorge, Nende, Jesus.
Refuge of all sentient beings without exception, divine subjugator of terrifying Maras, together with their hosts of demons, the one who understands all realities without exception exactly as they are, transcend and conquer together with your disciples, please come here to this place.
Shabda Badi Zazo Zaji Buji Joji Medonja Rura Lenji Nindi Jambande Zanji Jan Mede Purwaye Drogunanda Jindo Jumajo Janza Wanan Jujin Shabat Jizu Yiran Gurjin Zoaye Gewa Jungzi Dagi Jizamba Tamji Zobe Chanje Jimbo.
The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the four continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate.
O Namo Nasi Namda Ki Lama La Nasi Shiyin Zan Jubamba Kamsan Yandro Do Zowan De Angorwa Tandro Su Shinji Lo Ji Norwa Zoge Jan Masam Jume Jarwe To Chimbe Yi Ngadan Dem Zewe Dani Gajin Jen Drowa Jumze Rumbo Je Dasen Yi Je Ngane Zorwa de ni ji ngang de xin ji lo sem de ne ji me nam dan de lan de chu go do ba xin ji lo jom den de ti xin shi ba ra jum ba yang ta ba ra zo be san rig ba dan xiab zi den ba de wa shi ba ji den jin ji wen de wa ka lo ju wa la na me ba la dan me nan Tom bai nyam me sha ji jar bo sha ji do chen ma me go rab de gu be chan sa lo kan ze kan ye zo wo jo sa chen de la gom ban de cho ji zong de zeng ke ba cho lai chan sa lo nam da ge ngan jo de so zong wa yi ji jan so ze ji lum bon da chao ban ji den son na la me wan gong bon jo ni jo lai jan za lo chen jo den ba chen men da we xia zhen dong da wa jo lai jan za de de chen da zi ba song nan de nya min chen ji jo lai jan za lo men jo de wa ka lo jun ze bien kun jo ren qing wa jun ze de xin xie wan bo xi dan ye ye xie lai nye yu xiu ba da la chan sa lo gong bo tu jie xie de ba dan xin jian ba dan ba bo zo na yu den jiang ti xin jie lai jiang za lo da bian du jia zhe wei ju ge nian song le zhe re xin jie de to dan jiu jiu wa xin jiu jiu lai chan za lo chu ne zhe wei lang yang dang la ba da la ra de ke xian ge dan ba yan den xian gen du lai yan jiang za lo.
Page 11. Namo, to the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the fundamental ground of appearance and existence. I supplicate you to thoroughly liberate the three realms. Please grant your blessings and overturn the depths of samsara. Sublime Master, wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament, the inconceivable, inexpressible mind of the victorious ones, the one endowed with the five wisdoms of omniscience, gracious one, the embodiment of love, precious protector of beings, I supplicate you from within the essence of mind. Please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. Please bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind. Transcend and conquer the one thus gone, foe destroyer of afflictive emotions, completely perfected Buddha, endowed with logic and virtue, the one gone to bliss, knower of the world, captain, tamer of beings, the unexcelled teacher of gods and men, I respectfully prostrate, completely touching my head to the stainless feet of the unequaled Shakya king. At the time of your birth, the leader of two-legged beings, taking 7 steps on this great earth, you proclaimed, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, even then, I prostrate. Possessing a body of complete purity, your sublime form is excellent. An ocean of primordial wisdom, you are like a golden mountain. The one whose renown is evident throughout the 3 worlds, protector of supreme attainment, to you I prostrate. To you who are endowed with the supreme marks, whose face is like an immaculate moon, to you, the one with a complexion like gold, I prostrate. A flawless one such as you, among the 3 levels of existence, is most exquisite. Unparalleled, omniscient one, to you I prostrate. Supreme among humans, captain of those to be tamed, the one thus gone who severs the all-binding fetters, who with senses pacified is utterly pacified and skilled in peace. To that one, the one who dwelled at Shravasti, I prostrate. Refuge endowed with great compassion, totally omniscient one who indicates the way, ground basis for oceans of merit and qualities, I prostrate to the one thus gone, the pure cause free from attachments, the virtue that liberates from the lower realms, the altogether supreme ultimate truth. Pacifying Dharma, I prostrate. Having been liberated, they also reveal the path to liberation. Thoroughly respectful of the 3 higher trainings, they are a field of sublime qualities. To the Sangha, I also prostrate. And then page 14.
Bam bam jamba jana jarwala janza lo jani so jojun jedan na de son je ba me ye sange ta ge ma le da tam je la le dang ma ye tang we ja ji wo Sombo jobe molan doda ge jarwa tanje ye je ngosando shenge dornye le ra de ba ye jarwa kun la ra do jansalo dorje dana dornye sanje na sanje seje wona shubhanda tedai jeje yena mal ba tamje jarwa tage kanwa tedai na ba meze janzo na yanji yanla janzo raganje Waganje yaden raja jende vaishik baya tamje dagede Medon tamban chungwan tamba dan sinye namda shubha dan chodan Marmen jodan durbo tamba Jawa tada lan chubaji Naza tamba namdan chanjo dan chimi pram Rira nyambada Guba jibaran pabin jogun ji Jawa tada layan chubaji Choba kanam lame jaje wad da jawa tanje layamo Sambo Julai Tibe Dodai Jawa Gunla Janzaran Chubaji Doja Shedan Demo Wangi Neludang Deshin Yi Jan Deva Dag Jibai Jinji Bada Da Tamji Nage Sosoya Choju Jawa Gandan Sanje Zeranja Namdan Lobdan Melobdan Androa Gunje Zanam Kala Yante Da Gunje Jesu Da Yiran Kanan Choju Yiden Roma Nan Shancho Rembara Sanje Majani Gombo De Da Dangi Tamji Alan Kolo Lana Me Barar Gurwago Nyangen Da Dan Kanji De Da Landroa Gunla Pension Deviche Karwai Shingi Duni Shubayan Dagi Tam Raja Sorwaji Janza Wadan Jujin Tanji So Yeron Gorjin Sorwaji Gyawa Junse Dangi Jes Abadanji Jogi Janjo Jengo.
Page 15. I prostrate to the full Manjushri, to those in the worlds of the 10 directions, however many there are, all the lions among humans who appear during the 3 times, to all of them without exception, I pay homage with respectful body, speech, and mind. The force of my aspiration prayer for excellent conduct brings all the victorious ones directly to mind. Bowing down with bodies as numerous as atoms in the realms, I prostrate to all the victorious ones. In a single atom there are Buddhas as numerous as atoms, each residing in the midst of their sons and daughters. Like that, I imagine the whole Dharmadhatu completely filled with victorious ones. To those with oceans of inexhaustible, praiseworthy qualities, with sounds containing oceans of tones of melodic speech, I express the qualities of all the victorious ones. I praise all the Sugatas. With the finest flowers, the finest garlands, music, ointments, supreme parasols, supreme lamps, and the finest incense, I make offerings to the victorious ones. With the finest claws, supreme scents, and fine powders equal to Mount Meru, all displayed in supreme and magnificent ways, I make offerings to those victorious ones. With vast and unsurpassable offerings, I venerate all the victorious ones. Through the power of faith and excellent conduct, I prostrate and offer to the victorious ones. Whatever negative actions I have performed with body, speech, and also mind, overpowered by desire, aggression, and stupidity, I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in everyone's merit, the victorious ones of the 10 directions, the bodhisattvas, the pratyekya Buddhas, those in training, those beyond training, and all beings. I request the protectors, the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who passing through the stages of awakening, attain Buddhahood beyond attachment, to turn the unsurpassable Dharma wheel. I supplicate with my palms joined together those who intend to demonstrate nirvana, to remain for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I dedicate whatever slight virtue is accumulated through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and supplicating to enlightenment. Page 16.
O Simchen Namji Samba Tang Loi Che Tra Che Da Wa Che Chung Tumo Kukwa Chu Jin Kolo Gordo.
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Du som song je dan je jing o re dong jing ko re jam so jam da ga jin song me tu je dan yin kam song ju ji shab ji be mo che ma me ba lang go ra de de go sum gu ba chen bo go ne chan sar shin jab sun je o je wan ne che rab jin chen wa tam je do to ze wa chen bo go ne je so song de ju shin je la baran za do zo Kangi yarzun zawe mengmam kesaran zambe don rajin zambe zo wozan rozar wen roku mege do se joro do jindama kune juren jiden som jingkonj tubon pima karbo deren dalo yanzo chon Urjin zolen pime dombo zer jarve nam joron jonlun jeron sanzo bayi yodam somba Pema june dalu benzo re jong, xini tengken xixin sekvin chen se jing kharab gong xin, rokun se mo man pa san se lo rokun de nyan. Kudang yi ji riba me gong chu yin kalan ze pa kang, jambar xion kun ne ka we zo gen jo. Yin cho ben ma kar pon zin be xer le song wo ser dong ke chawa jin, yin ke ma ser lo zhong jo zor. Yang jing hake paramu da yi jang, gun son dor zim gara shir zim, bema gara jim pa yi sheng, so sur nam nya dar dong jas. Kadra lama nam la zor wa hande, kan ru to ka rin jin nying pong kor, yo den gun jang ka yi ji sar de, nying po tong se be ben nan jir. Chime vezir shabji da yi jong, shiya gunzen rola ji zidir, chime vezir yang chu tu tirin zoro, wasa long chin lang ki nan jir. Jingmi ling bi shab la sor wande, chedir jar vesi po shawa la, nandar chabi wang jo shawa ri, zang pan jo dung aran rung. Jingmi chu ji wan bora gu jan zai, rik don jan bera shunun shin la le, gong be long le bo be der jir, long to chun zi jan sung ha dan, an zi da ben za ya la so an de, bo mi chu ji yin ji po zhan, tu sum sang ji gun jing awan. Rang sim chu ko ngu sum dun zi bi, za we la ma da la gu chan sa, da son ro we, lo nan chu la jo. Da tiki nga za nyam le, tung tong ji, da tu tsu de la tene, chi toba re, te chi toba, nga za sa nyamal, komba tes yo watala, chu nyam le tes, chi top son sambe rono so so ge, gaba kong, mitene maung pa la yong, chi ndu ke lo, tenri je ya, te ke chenpo res.
So we had a little opportunity there to do some practice together, and we can think that, based on the favorable conditions of having this time together, every Sunday we have this opportunity to do, it's also not just that we're receiving teachings, but we're doing practice as we go through these opening prayers together. So it's really beneficial to feel some sense of taking delight in that opportunity. So you can think, I get this opportunity to both listen, to the Dharma teachings and to do some practice. So to have kind of a mind that is eager to do so.
Tene chochen samlo tangwayana chusaya to drobya mangbochi xiegoya tang. Tene mangbochi jangane chu drobya. Tenrigi samlo ta mat sudasuyana yore. Yina tene chochen samlo tangwayana chu drobya sayate le lao. Ris, da mitsegi nangla dorna che xiawate sinyong ratang. Tene lulu che ne nyamzom che ne chu drop sayate nge katsong hiba na yite ne pogi chu drop tangte dunya dang gomya dang deya tsoma nyamdure mato tene gomjabya jigbo maris.
So on the one hand, we may feel like, our like there's not so much time to do Dharma practice, but on the other hand, it's really kind of easy to make time for Dharma practice. So it's just a matter of, kind of diminishing some of our activities, and letting go of the less necessary activities, and instead using that time to do some practice. And as Kimbo Rinpoche says, he mentioned last week that in Tibet, there's the practice of sort of doing all these forms of practice as one, recitation, meditation, our contemplation are all together. So you don't have to just think of them as isolated and, meditation is something different, but that meditation can come as you're doing your recitations. Your recitation can become a meditation.
Tene ben rao cha shawena om a hongs jibun de devayna tela om a hongs at sanjige kusomke ngowo om chuka a longka ene hong tana mare om turkurwa a longka chi hongte chuka tene tende janan rigor te mai na yong om sayade tene ku sanje tamchi chi ku dorje a sayade sanje tamchi ki zong dorje ten om sayade sanje tamchi chi tok dorje indu tando na om a hong chi bon de deva yana ti sanje tamchi ki ku song tok ki hilabde rong lunga yi zomla jogne tene a tinga chok saksena treba jang sena chinlab chok tawa to Drupon jang serwa. Shinlap hyuk sa Drupon ta ta songwa na shinlap hyuk ngura. Shinlap de hyuk shinlap saya de nga zu tokpa juli jaya de la shinlap sa gura. Ten tokpa na chebar jen ju juli jaya yongwa na ten rang ju de chor ne dan dur na torab ji chun na sang ji sa te da ma chun na yong ten Drupon top se du 향접 선배가 살아서 봐. 토비야 나는 삼나 당원이는 되네. 단다 드바 지라서 같은데 토비 두몽기 드바 당 두몽만 비 드바 라서 봐 토비야 요리. 두몽기 드바 센다 achievement accomplishment.
And 드바 J.
되는 두몽만 비 드바 라서 봐. 너나 텐데다 담시 단대와 요리랑 송 단다 제르위고 송토다 랑글루마 이솜티 인제메니 세토바 존나한테는 냠네 다 여보용 요래.
So to give you an example, there's the recitation, the Vajra recitation, the recitation of the syllables Om Ahung, which are the syllables that embody or express the qualities of the Buddha's three kayas. or the body, enlightened body, speech, and mind qualities of all the Buddhas. So Om is the Nirmanakaya, A, the Sambhogakaya, and Hung, the Dharmakaya. And also, if we don't, not only that, but Om embodies the enlightened speech or the Vajra speech of all the Buddhas. And the enlightened body of all the Buddhas. And A embodies all the qualities of the Vajra speech of the Buddhas, the enlightened speech of all the Buddhas. And Hung embodies all the qualities of the enlightened mind of all the Buddhas, or the Vajra mind. And so in this way, just through the recitation of these 3 syllables, all of the qualities of the 3 times Buddha's enlightened body, speech, and mind are present. And so if as we recite them, what happens is that we are purifying the obscurations of ordinary body, speech, and mind. We're gathering the accumulations. So we're both purifying obscurations and gathering accumulations, which facilitates the receival or the entering of blessing, and the capacity for realization or direct experience to arise in our mind stream. And the kind of highest, most developed result of that is Buddhahood. And even if the most developed result of that Buddhahood doesn't occur, we still have, through this process of purification and gathering accumulations, then we eventually arrive on the stages of bodhisattvas. And at the very least, even if we don't achieve right away the supreme attainments, there is, through the blessings, one can achieve or develop the 8 ordinary attainments or siddhis, and eventually also, without a doubt, the supreme attainment. All of the qualities of the enlightened body, speech, and mind of the victorious ones are contained within this. And so whatever practice that we do, it's very important that we have this experience of merging our ordinary body, speech, and mind with the qualities of the enlightened body, speech, and mind of the victorious ones. And if we do that, then whatever practice we do will be good. We'll have good, our practice will go well.
Tene jirson tanda ngato ha koko yasna. Ta chudrup tuyong o tunda ta kona yakbo yorwa. Te indu kusaya de karasana kun jurwa meba sanji ji kuji top sana. Ten chuji kula jurwa yomaris. Zong gakpa meba zong saya de ngandra meba ta sonji tamji ge chuji pongbo 동라지 주자이라 소바 송요나요 ngak ten yu mato patana ten chaji meba tong chuba meba sonji namji ki tok de ten chuba meba son tela ngacho dorje somsena rigor sonji tamji ko songto dorje songdo tendu ta sonji sayate ten ngacho ta tenrich top go yorwa.
Also, the meaning of the 3 Vajras, is what the attainment of that is also what is achieved through Buddhahood or full awakening. So to understand the inner meaning, the changeless body or form as the nature of the changeless enlightened form is the Vajra body. And the Buddha, who the essence of whom is the Dharmakaya, manifests all of these, like the 84,000 categories of speech, of the Buddha's speech, and there is the unceasing, speech that is actually the ineffable nature or the inexpressible kind of speech of enlightened awareness, which is that unceasing, inexpressible speech, which is the unbroken continuity of which is Vajra speech. And the mind being completely free of delusion, but the sort of unceasing and unalterable essence of this nature is the Vajra mind. And so these three Vajras, the realization or manifestation of these three Vajras is also Buddhahood.
And then we all know that we are all Vajrayana practitioners, and these secret Mantrayana practices involved with the Guru Yoga. Mainly it comes in preliminary practices, and then we have self-empowerment or self-empowering. In most Guru Yoga and of Guru Yogas is usually the emitting white, red, blue lights from the Guru's forehead, throat, and heart center or navel. This, if we put Hong, she, then or Hong, and then that emit lights and dissolve into our body, speech, and mind to bless ourself. So that's called kind of self-empowering that you can do daily basis. Once you have empowerment already, then you can allow or you are power to practice self-empowerment or empowering yourself. Usually in Sanskrit we have a term, body, kaya for body, vak for speech, and mind for chit. And Tibetan we have
Kaya Waka Chitta.
And then we have Pugalusula Lu Nga Yi.
So in Tibetan it's Lu Nga Yi, body, speech, and mind.
If you are familiar with sometimes, I don't know, each sadhana is different, but some sadhanas we have Om Kaya Siddhi Om Vaka Siddhi Chitta Siddhi Om Sarva Siddhi Palari. So you see the Sanskrit mantra with Kaya Vaka. Kaya Vaka Chitta, or body, speech, mind, chantings with touching your hand with your forehead, throat, and heart center and navel to dissolve blessings from the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, everyone. So that's just in general, but I just want to say why we need to learn such broader understanding of these texts, especially Nagarjuna's texts. It's important because Nagarjuna is a well-known teacher who teaches the Madhyamaka. So Madhyamaka is, we often heard, there's three Greeks are Uma Chembo, Chakcha Chembo, Dzogpa Chembo.
Madhyamaka, Mahamudra,
Great.
and Dzogpa Chempo, or the Great Middle Way, the Great Seal, and the Great Perfection are the translations of those.
Ta Uma Chembo ki thang Uma Tokpa Shibala na Ludrup Chi Hyong Tala Seko Huyore Tene ta Ludrup Nyimba Jarwan Drugong Ba Sanga Sujawan Jikan Som Jungong Bote Tene Ludrup Nyimba Ludrup Ki Trurwang Ludrup Nyimba Ta Chagor Tene Tene Tender Nela Wan Jung Drugong Ba Sezi da Lopong Ludrup Ji Tongyi Ji Tawa Ta Ten La Pabyon Du Tene Tender Ji Ko Ne and don't you get out the thought over the Hindu. That didn't ever chamber or that didn't to Tontomato your Marie in a that long gaze on our chin. Chene, the Pechan Tango, then Chironsoge. Namji locked the Vayana, didn't turn that Hako younger. Young Kashig, Mancheva, some take song to the Ludovgi, Pomola, Mebat Mambuchin to some batende, Tandan Survat, Legundo Hamato, the Pechandino. The Pomoji Bol Mesha Mare, the Coron Puim Badam Pula, a Jarbo Deon Puim to Coronto, then a Manchea, Adanda Travatan, Tendela Dam Shakwa Hindu, then do big yorn about the Pomochadu, the country jungle, Michigan or Mato, then a Pomugi Palatatorian, Tendi Chigurata in a Tixon. To 21st century Nangla, Gap Gom Jab to Ronje, Sambo Chaya, Yakbo Yin, Rang the Sambo Taya, Rang Yakbo, Yuva, Rang Lubo Tayan, De Won Zebo Jibo. You attended Taya Gita Luxujin do at the Testaman to by younger Saratan, do natural soge. Nay Marcia, then Pechadang. Atanda Sonjik Chulo non can do one on Shigure, and Jeron Soge Tendre Chiala, ten younger Madonna, then Rono Sogeda, Tamgachi and Matsen on a Pento Karakare, Yonsare Titane, Diariment, Miration, the Thomas Hemdroyat, then Yonka Commodore.
So in that way, this text, the text that we're that is the subject for today's teaching, and these hopefully also continuing. So this is, I will just interject and say this is Khenpo Rinpoche's last weekend before he has to leave town. So hopefully we can continue, well, when he, whenever he has time and he's able to come teach and it works out schedule-wise, then we'll continue until we finish these teachings. And Nagarjuna, the author of this text, the Nagarjuna's letter to a friend, which is in fact a letter to a king who was a contemporary or a friend of Nagarjuna's at the time, that was composed, during the Durap Sumba Nipare. Durap Sumba Nipa. So like during the 2nd century. And it is also really significant. So it's significant, first of all, because it's Nagarjuna, who is one of the great masters responsible for so much of the really profound teachings that we have, particularly related to the Madhyamaka. And also because in our lineage, Lord Jigten Sumgun is said to be the second Nagarjuna, or an emanation of Nagarjuna, mainly because he emphasizes the importance of interdependence, and interdependence in particular being the means through which the realization of the ultimate view or the ultimate truth can be realized. So this is very much similar to the teachings of Nagarjuna, and so there is that special or that unique connection there. And we don't have a lot of time, so because of that, Khenpo Rinpoche will just go through. It will be more of like as we did last week, a transmission, and we can read, he'll read in Tibetan and we can read in English. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but with, some extra explanation here and there. Also, he wants to just acknowledge that there is a language in here that is can feel like it's pretty disparaging towards women. And he just wants to encourage us to take that not as being, that these instructions are unique in their with you could easily replace women with men, and the reason why it is women is because the king was a man, and the audience generally of Nagarjuna was monastic. And so that is why women are mentioned as the object in these cases, but that we can understand it to be because they are the presumed object of desire for the king and for the monastics, but that actually we can just as well replace it with whatever one's own object of desire is. And also that in general, because he said also we might have reactions to some of the language feeling almost sort of violent with regard to the body, the way we regard, even one regards one's own body, which is a really different attitude from the way we tend to think of the body in the 21st century, that we should care for the body, that we health and well-being and wellness and kind of really cherishing the body and being looking after the body and treating it well and so forth are values of our current age. And so this is different. This is a different approach that is particular to kind of diminishing the importance of the body as part of a Buddhist point of view. However, he said you should take, you don't have to agree with it all, you don't have to feel like it all resonates, but what you can do is take what applies, what resonates for you and what you feel can have benefit in your practice and in your life, and you can let the rest be.
가정마 시카고라 텔라비아 총선 가르스나 뭐네 장네 되네 첸들로 땅네 체치마 터니르치네 되네 람 뉴르벨람 나클람 땡치네 단다 되네 코마남지 드롭톱 코마남지 휴르친 로고나 라마땡야세안다 라마 땡야트 키첸보임 발라마세야드 상지레종 학바땡고야 키첸보레스 휴 되네 카르시처럼 디긴 도바드 메바야나 체치마세야 당 디타르바토비아세야나 텐드리긴 도바시라 메바야나 되네 라마스 믹시 땡고야 당 디게 라마 라 마테나 녜파첸보 용야 그 디게 랑 셈은 조바제고야 Tiyo maris. Tiyo ndu semplo luchi ndorna. Ta chu dar to drop tawayana. Tene ta chu dar to drop yara. Matom na tene rono soso kita je sendele. Pemba te chu gnonle. Len togu ndona te len. Tene semtre ma je ndorna chu srup tu. Te semba luchi xiawa de nyung chin. Drop na mato. Tene mambo je chen. Tene 단데 용금도 탐색 냠금도 라마땡 도금도 세안 셈라 낭차다 근데 몽보지 제대바이나 근데 심바지 보용 말와
So also, there was something that came up during Khenpo Rinpoche's recent teachings in Chicago, when in the context of a lot of language, of Vajrayana language, given the importance of relying on a spiritual teacher and how to rely on the guru, and this is with respect to Tantra as the swift path to awakening, and that in the context of Vajrayana practice, when it is practiced in such a way that really one's deepest goal is liberation and awakening, that really, one really is practicing not at all for the purpose of this life, but for the purpose of future lives, for the purpose of enlightenment, for a liberation and enlightenment. then the guru and seeing the guru as a Buddha is very important. But in reality, a lot of people are not practicing the Dharma that way. And so if one is practicing in a way that is a little bit more concerned with, for instance, this life and the quality of this life, then the guru is not actually, it's not so important that you can, and so if there is all this, you can relax if that's a concern for you, he said, and not have a lot of doubt and regret and feeling like, oh, I've broken my samayas. You don't have to worry, because you can still practice the virtue of the Dharma in the context that you are practicing it, without having to have this sort of heavy samaya in terms of the guru, and so in that way, you don't have to be sort of tormented by this, or worried about it, or fearful.
Page 16, is that true? Is that Tibetan?
Is it on page 16? Tibetan? Is that where we? Oh, lasso.
Yeah, it's 17, but end of the page 16, there is a clear that Nagarjuna is saying, "Kazi man dan rewa rikbayi docha shedong me bar ten chi de jak chir mala nyembi chir mala sak chir mala mlenen ba chir dene." Tantika nga so se samasaya de den tikson da mombochi subo yakbo ya da ndo yakbo ya da tenriki chi de den ta sama mombochi yoro da dikapse don samasaya de lu ne ya konegi chi to ma to hen da ndo ba mebi khotone den ko re son da nga so ha ko ndo tikson gi tugi nga so samat kan de den yo dan ti tu so sama kan de den yo.
Oh, Sumchu Soje Rawala. Yeah.
End of
Okay, the last one. Dini Gongda Matesa. Okay. So on page 17, verse 38, it says, "Take food as medicine in the right amount, without attachment, without hatefulness. Don't eat for vanity, for pride or ego's sake. Eat only for your body's sustenance."
Ta subola ndo yakbo ya ta. Subola shenbe ki nyam yo ya ta. Tando na tenriki cheta mayimba lupon soya jigbo ki cheta. Tene men tanda wa chene. Tengo reason.
So here, the instruction is not to relate with food in any way other than just it's necessary to keep your body alive, to give your body sustenance. So without a lot of attachment to flavor and, the quality of the food, but, and without, this objective to make the body strong and beautiful and, healthy, and the complexion, have a nice complexion and so forth, but really just to take what is needed for sustenance, to have an attitude towards medicine, which is towards food, which regards it as being like medicine.
Tene tange project tom don chi inji tonen lone. Tene mar rimben royaris.
So Kempo Rinpoche will recite in Tibetan, and then I can read in English.
Rikpe dangi nyimban tata tang semon tunji tumi deni narse an riva me par me jorwa chan tang tembar tata fardu nor. Sham tang nyingje tata kawa tang tanyam tata yangda gomzu jik. Koma nye bar ma jo tita nang changbi jik ten dewa topar jor. Doju gaa tang dedo dungar tang nambar pangwe sam ten shibo ye. Chongri wosar tata geje tang riva chen la nam tang karnyam to. Ta tang ngumbar shen tang nyembo me yoden zo ten shilin jungwe le ge tang me ke nam nga chenpo te tewe ge la ge wa jo la zombar che. Len cha sang ge chu ne nyungu shik ro jor nui je ro jor nuji elum aki long meter 대신 딕빌레는 충의용 계획자와 용란 챔버지.
So then on page 19, O knowledgeable one, recite all day and in the first and last watch of the night. Then in between these two, sleep mindfully, so that your slumbers are not spent in vain. Constantly and perfectly reflect on love, compassion, joy, and partiality. And should you not attain the higher state, at least you will find bliss in Brahma's world. The four samadhis, which in turn discard pursuit of pleasure, joy, and bliss and pain, will lead to fortune equal to the gods, and Brahma, light, great virtue, or great fruit. Great good and evil deeds are of five kinds, determined by their constancy, their zeal, their lack of counter-agent, their perfect fields. So strive in this respect to practice good. A pinch of salt can give its salty taste to a little water, but not to the Ganges stream. So know that, likewise, minor evil deeds can never change a mighty source of good.
근데 다 추세도 drup도 툰단 툰삼 사야지 지네 drup이나 하나 당보 추좀 캔라 근데 개체 보인사 그 디그램다고 요이나 근데 텔렘 삼나지 동거 틱센다 루 텔레단에 되는 검시질라 병으로 되게 되네 니 난생 난타나 니 냐르비가 없으나 줄라 삼나 거네 니가 그래서
So this is sort of, first of all, making this distinction between like sessions and in between sessions, or what we say sometimes meditation and post-meditation. So when practicing the Dharma, at first it's necessary to have kind of these rules or structure to create sessions of meditation, and then you have in between your sessions. But here, eventually, that is for the purpose of familiarization. And once there is familiarization, then the practice should be sustained in, irregardless of formal sessions, but at all times, day and night, even so that your sleep is brought onto the path of practice.
Tene tanda verse 40 ti ngazo hyambanyin je kawa taonyomse tseme ba hiisen ana ngazo tseme hig tanda simja tamje dewa tan dewi jutong dember church dongar jutong chawar church dongar me be dewa tam ba tam medra church nyering cha doni don chawar taonyom la nebar church sen te tseme ba hiise gorwa te tseme ba hiti 창축 그 샘 집을시발라 땅고 쳔미와 히 고네 로장네네 창축 그 샘세야 지고 거든데 쳔미와 히세야데 배 개체모레스 아나 티마치 인디 노나 카르송도세나 at least you will be find bliss in Brahma's world 쳔미와 힌데라 Brahma Vihara 생도 창베네바 히스 and the number sanji bijigo yin samar tane tanda hindi da te so ke tolo tende de la main koran la changbe ne ba his form Brahma Vihara tondo.
So then the next verse is a verse speaking to the importance of the four immeasurables. And so the four immeasurables are contained in the prayer that we always recite. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. And may they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. So these are the four immeasurables: immeasurable love, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable joy or empathetic joy, and immeasurable equanimity. And they are necessary as preliminaries to developing the a genuine mind of bodhicitta. So here it says, that you should constantly reflect on these. And at the very least, the result will be that you will find bliss in Brahma's world. So these are also referred to in Sanskrit as the four Brahma Viharas. And they are also not just practiced among Buddhists, but they're practices widely practiced in Hindu traditions as well. And it is these qualities that lead to higher states in samsara, as well as states of liberation and awakening. And so at the very least, the outcome of that would be bliss in the higher realms, in the God realms.
Verse 41 is maybe important. People often practice meditation, and the meditation has different types of meditation, and there's different terms for the meditation. So here we have samten. Samten sayate Sanskrit la dhyana singdwa.
So it's not actually samadhi, but yeah, dila samadhi chidua.
Samten, right?
Samten for samadhis chiyodua, the dhyana chiyomari.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dhyana. English, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at Tibetan.
Oh, yeah.
So, like that, samten shi, standuna samten sayate, so jhanagi. Samten say, that Sanskrit tola, dhyana sayate, jakila, long word sana, take the major bachene, take the nanshi lafyate ko jakila, a chance sayate, leverwa. Dhyana said chance.
So here it says the four samadhis, which actually in the Tibetan is the samten, which is meditative concentration, or in Sanskrit, dhyana. And in Chinese, it's what?
Dhyana, sarva.
Yeah.
Chance, no,
Changse.
Dhyana.
Dhyana.
Chan.
Chang is Chinese?
Chan is Chinese.
Chance.
Zen is Japanese. Dhyana, Chan, Zen.
Chan. I see, Chan Buddhism. Yeah. I don't understand. Dhyana sounds similar to Chan.
No, Chinese is called long words, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
They borrow Sanskrit word in Chinese. Dhyana. Mm-hmm. They call Chan. It's not translation.
Oh.
It's transliteration.
Okay.
Phonetic.
I see. Okay.
And then that goes to Japan as Zen.
Okay.
How goes on?
Sort of. Dini di tsik rang dinda tsik di dhyana gi dundare. Chan or Zen.
Dhyana, Chan.
Okay, yeah.
Very
So they're similar. He's saying that Chan and
not similar. It's
they're the same.
meant to be same.
They're meant
but
to be the
different
same.
language.
Like Chan
pronunciation is
in
different.
Chinese, Chan Buddhism, right? Or Zen Buddhism. That these two words are actually dhyana. So he's saying, can you see the similarity there between those words and the word dhyana in Sanskrit, which is where the names of those lineages of Buddhism actually came from. It actually literally means dhyana or meditative concentration.
Thinley induna the indu gom sayata ta mombo samten sayata mombo yores. Tandana samten ta mombo labdena kinsa chamro samara the kechi hu the karisana ngazo tanda dubin comes dubi yodengala ju sok ta chiro rugala ying ne de dingatalan dubi du on dong kam segro.
So these levels of dhyana or meditative concentration. So there are, like, first of all, we have the five desire or the five the five qualities of the desire. Five desirable pleasures of sense qualities that are connected with the desire realm.
Tanga tsuki semte pe trela chenpochi. Teni sange singe chane. Nga tsu semte lulu tang. Teni yabu yongbe marwa.
And so, because our mind is like wrapped up in these all the time, and the desire realm, and we're very busy, our mind is very active, it's very busy, and we never withdraw and rest.
Ta jirtongi nga tsuki semki ndobi sem tse chikwa sengto semte te sa chikla te ne hine dawu ta gomya te nga tsuki che togu yorwa.
And so the mind that is so assaulted by desire, when we give it a neutral object, an object to rest upon, and we rest that mind on that single object without doing what it usually does, then there comes something, or meditative concentration. And this is what we refer to as shamatha meditation.
A little bit complicated, but maybe this is helpful if you meditate. There's samten sagu sayajindwa. Samten sagus.
Sagu. So there are the 9 stages of meditative concentration.
Samten sagu sayati nang la tanda nga zon du bin kam la sem du sem tse jikwa sayate tangbo chagore.
So what is in these 9 stages of dhyana, when the mind of the desire realm establishes single-pointed concentration, then that is the first of these stages, is that single-pointed concentration.
Which means lowest one.
It's the lowest stage.
And which is not good support for the actual practice. Our mind, that dobin kam. Yina yang nga tsu lun degi thola ene sem koma taso drop top yores.
But so with this body, we can reach those higher, like using the body as a vehicle, we can reach those higher stages.
Or maybe attain.
Or attain.
So ti indu tene samten tangbo tanda digi samten his nduan digi tanda verse 42.
So on, that's all.
Doju gadan deta dungarta number pong samten hibo yeso dan digi samten hi sayati ngazo sungkam nerik jubdun kinone and samten hi sayati yobar samten tangbo nimba sumbas tangbo ngazo dobin kamji samten tamari samten tangbo nimba sumba hiwasen sungkam la samten hi yorwa.
Okay. So in the like 17 abodes of the desire realm, there are these levels of samadhi that are still fall within the category of the desire realm, or these levels of dhyana. And then there are the 4 dhyanas, which do not correspond with the desire realm, but correspond with the four form realms. And those are like the first, second, third, and fourth dhyanas.
티 나쪽에 drop top 거르지 drop top 아텔라 심댄색을 샘지댄 나쪽 추드롭이 값을 루지댄지 샘지댄지 니어와.
So there, when we practice, there's the support of the mind and the support of the body, and these are the support of the mind.
루트 나쪽 당보 물르른 현상 단절접지던 상황에 물르른 뭐지 톱이어서도 대 루텐로와.
So like attaining the precious human birth, the body is the support of the support of the body. That's the physical support.
다 곰잡이 값을 삼텐 들땐 거랬다나 디아나 대 당보랑 줄 지고 걸어와.
And then when we meditate, the support of the mind is dhyana. And the word, so 10, and this is in Tibetan, is more meaningful because the word support is 10 and some 10.
Oh, this is different.
This was different.
Yeah, this
Oh, it's a different spelling. Oh, okay.
This stand is more,
yeah, okay,
more
so
kind
there's
of
not that.
stable.
Stable,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the dan, lutan, simdan is sport. What do you?
Oh, okay, so
yeah.
they're slightly different, actually. Samtin is stability, and lutin and simtin is support of the body, or physical support, and mental support, or the support of the mind.
Tene tangita something goyores, something good, do bin kamlan, do semtse watang, tene, something tangbo nimbasumba, hivasan. Techi, tene, suming kamla, something, hiyores, techi do that, something gondova.
So gungta something good, nangla dampo, tena dupe kam dampo nipa.
No matter, do bin kam, jigmato yomara, do semtse jigwas. Sungkam le hi something tangbo nimbasumbas. Hivas. Tene sumi jinchi mu hi seyora sumi ba hi yorwa. O tila something sago sengwa.
So the 9 stages of meditative concentration, or dhyana, which you all may be familiar with, so the first one, which is single-pointed concentration, is of these 9 is connected with the desire realm. Then in the 9, the second, but actually it is the first, second, third, and fourth dhyana, or stages of meditative concentration, correspond with the form realm. And then you have the 4 formless absorptions, which correspond with the formless realm. And so these comprise the 9 stages of dhyana.
So, dobin kamki samtenti tsekigwate tadong do chayore, do bayore songre. So, dobin kamki samtenti tsekigwachi, do sem tsekigwachi. Tela tadong do bayore song, do basa.
So in the meditative concentration of the desire realm of single-pointed concentration, there's still desire activity in the mind.
Tenen dani sigdata dendwa 41, verse 41. Duju ka de dungarta number pangwe song tangbon doba pangwa tene kawa tene dewa dungar ta teda dan char songwa ina relation sometimes tangbolan doba meba nimbala kawa meba sumbala dewa meba tene hibala dungar meba ta te cha songwa ina ti hila sometimes hisegorwa ta rimba hindu tene cha go tene nga zo kom jabe kapsa andorna the dada charva top go garwa.
So as it says, the pursuit, which in turn discard the pursuits of pleasure, joy, bliss, and pain. So with each of the progressive stages of dhyana, one overcomes these experiences. So with the first, there's a transcendence of pleasure. With the second, transcendence of joy. With the third, transcendence of bliss. And with the fourth, transcendence of aversion or pain. And so these correspond with the first, second, third, and fourth dhyanas.
So that tiki nane something shibat atene tandor nan chot churare songre.
And then the fourth is said to be like like superior, is the best or the most supreme.
Ta shibat tobaina doba meba kawa meba deva meba dunga meba te tobu yorwa.
And so in that experience of the fourth samadhi or dhyana, then one is without pleasure, joy, bliss, or pain.
Ta gom jam kenji na da zamten shibat chot churare. Ta tika abso doba da kawa deva dungar maybe tola. Then it's zarcha yoresendo zarvicha.
So this is what is like the goal or the best level or the superior level for a meditator of this type of meditation. In that fourth level or the fourth dhyana state of meditative absorption, then one is without pleasure, joy, bliss, and pain. And in place of that, there's a really distinct clarity that is present.
That's something about Rava.
And then there's the fifth.
Mari. Tis something about something Shiva, tis something about Rava.
Oh, it's actually the fifth of so in, for instance, the progression of the 9 stages of samadhi, the fourth dhyana is actually the fifth stage of meditative concentration.
Tene tilin de sawena, tene sarchat meva chandra. Meva chandra do tene so meba hila nam kantai, nam shintai, jiyong meba yume memes tene, yong par sarchat meva chandra do, gom jabya la te, yong simtente yakbo chagya mares.
Karela, sim tempo yapo chagiyore.
Gom jabya la sim ki tenko yoro. Simtente samden shiva yenchi sumi yenchi moji cha songena. Then gom simtente yakbo yong mares.
So then when one moves beyond that, then that really vivid clarity, the clarity dissolves or is no longer present, and one enters into formless states of absorption, so of limitless space, limitless consciousness, nothing whatsoever, and neither perception or non-perception. And at that stage, then one has entered into the support or the stability of meditation. The support or the stability? 10.
Simten.
Simten. Support.
Support.
Yeah, so the support of meditation, or the support of the mind.
Do you remember 37 Bodhisattvas say something? I often get questions on that. What did they say for formless
Not
state?
straying from the 4 formless absorptions.
Sumi hili yangdan debaye something kumba jarse langlai sondo.
So perfectly transcending the 4 formless absorptions is the Bodhisattva's practice.
Something kumba.
Is the meditation of meditative concentration, meditating on the meditative concentration that perfectly transcends the 4 formless absorptions.
Yeah.
Is the Bodhisattva's practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Understand? I got question all the time. What does that mean? Yeah, that means. That's why it's a little bit complicated. But think about, we have a body already. Our mind is very complicated element, busy, difficult to control. So meditation is should be help us to control our mind. But meditation should have a content here. Mm-hmm. So sometimes the dhyanas are the support of mind. If we have this mind, stable mind, then we can put content. Contents comes from Tongpa Nyi Kumpa Tang, Sa Kumpa Tang, Tene Ngang Deva Tang, Durna Karda Karnguna, Tana Metapa Tang, Dongarva Tang, La Sopa Kumyala, Kumbar Sheba La Tang was semt, Tempo Kogarva, or Tilla sometimes.
So when he says it should have content, the content is realization of emptiness, the enlightened form of the deity, recitation of mantra, understanding of impermanence, the understanding of suffering. So that's content. However, it must be united with, so it's important to develop the meditative concentration, which allows for this very, very deep and developed stability of the mind. But if we just leave it at that, then it is absent of content.
Something without content. Non-big chu kita metadonga tonga tangme la sokba tang xiangqiu ki sem tang xiam nyingje tang tene tongpa nyi tang tenre meba yina tene tan jikten di nong tene changbi jikten la sokba jeya sungkham de jeya tang sungmin kham jeya ki juji ma to tene sang jeya seyandra tarwa tobya ki ti chuten rogya ma reso.
So what is meant by that verse is that that he was referring to is from the 37 Bodhisattva practices is that the qualities of all the content that he mentioned, and for instance, as Buddhist practitioners cultivating love, compassion, bodhicitta, if one strays into, say, the four dhyanas or the four formless absorptions, the result of that is that one either it leads to rebirth in the form realm or the formless realms.
Sa kuyu binane yarzi songena something about yakuri so tanga su chudu byak chi dina then tell yan ro songena yong zacha meva chandro tell man ro songena then do cha shadon temo la sopa then rakwa shukchen boyo de yong yamo yong yama something shibate semji dance and ngatu semji tenri chakwa ina then chudobya etana komjabya ketene ta chai sem keten yabo changyores.
So actually in the 9 stages of meditative concentration, the 5th or the 4th dhyana is said to be the best, because if you go beyond that, if one goes beyond that, then there's a disappearance of clarity. There's no longer the presence of clarity. And on the other hand, if you go below that, then there's desire, attachment, and ignorance, or desire, aversion, and ignorance. So to achieve this stability of the mind, or the support of the mind, what is the most desirable level in these 9 stages of meditative concentration is the 5th, or that of the 4th dhyana.
Okay, now understand, yeah, complicated, but maybe helpful. Then the last verse on page 18, the Tibetan 18. 이게 지체돼요, maybe one there's typo missing
Yeah,
word.
oh, okay.
Ganga, I think, Gangilong.
Yeah, Ganga, dila indicate Ganga too though.
Lanza sangi chuna nyungushi ro jornu je Gangilong mi tarar. Tishin digbile ni chungu yung gewe zawa yonglan chembrachi. You don't need to read that. Gu tong ju tong nu sem mukpa tang ni tong du lan duen tong tse som te dreba nga po te da gewe nor trok bi chungu lakban chembran zo. Te tang zon zhu ta tang chenpa tang ting zin chok rap chung chok nga nyi ni ndila ngu zong zo jin da na do wong xie je zemur churwa la. Na gan chi dok char tang te xin tu le na ta ki xie le man de xie. Te dar yang tang yang tu simba na te yin yen bo go ni jia min jur. Kar den tori tarwa ngu xie na yang da ta la komba ni zin zu. Kong sa lok par ta wa lek ji yang tam chi number me ba mi zi dan. Men yang da ni zin me de xin me ta dang me me cong rik par chi. Chen ba nye war ma ja nam ji ne chin ji lo xie ta wa pong chur wa.
So then on page 21, wildness and remorse and hateful thoughts and dullness, somnolence and yearning lust and doubt are hindrances. Please know these 5 are thieves that steal the gem of virtuous deeds. With faith and diligence and mindfulness and concentration, wisdom, 5 in all, you must strive hard to reach the highest state. As powers, these forces take you to the peak. I'm not beyond my karma, the deeds I've done. I'll still fall ill, age, die, and leave my friends. Think like this again and yet again, and with this remedy avoid all arrogance. If higher birth and freedom is your quest, you must become accustomed to right views. Those who practice good with inverse views will yet experience terrible results. Know this truth, that men are ever sad, impermanent, devoid of self, impure. Those who do not have close mindfulness, their view 4 times inverted, head for ruin.
In verse 45, Dila and Teba tang zon zhun sta, Teba saya tang ngak jibu kecha mare tene doi na, tin do ga na la yang a zo sai ju lam nga xia yang du, tene wang bong nga saya da top nga saya jin do tin du, and na de nga la, wang bong nga yang se gyore, top nga yang se gyore so.
So in verse 45, we have this list of faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. And this is not like in the same as, especially with faith, for instance, as it's referred to in like a Tantra context, but this is from the sutra perspective and in context with the progression of the 10 bhumis and the 5 paths, and these are what are referred to as the 5 faculties or the 5 strengths. Next page?
Next page.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sorry.
Suchim Duryun Chongzi Ranglula, Chinja Lokbar Tatan Tesumte, Gundu Jurvandasum Tarvaye, Tronchir Gonga Lakban Chembrachi, Tarva Dala Ralin Dilan, Shanji Troji, Manchibi, Tutan Suchim Samten Dembaye, Demba Nambashilla, Bebranzo, Lagbi Suchim Lagbi Sherab, and Lagbi Semla Dada Labarchi, Laba Jasa Machut, Lajik De, Zumpondi no Yondan Davarjur.
So on page 23, form is not the self, the Buddha taught, and self does not have form, nor dwell in form. While form dwells not in self, Thus you must see the four meaning aggregates. The four remaining aggregates are empty too. The aggregates are not a simple whim. From neither time nor nature do they come, nor by themselves from God or without cause. Their source, you ought to know, is ignorance. From karmic deeds and craving have they come, to feel that one is ethically superior, to view one's body wrongly, and to doubt. With these three fetters, you should understand the way through freedom's city's gates is blocked. Freedom will depend on you alone, and there is no one else, no friend can help. So bring endeavor to the Four Noble Truths with study, discipline, and concentration. Train always in superior discipline, superior wisdom, and superior mind. Monks' vows exceed 105 tens, yet they are all included in these three. So he's going to use the time, for transmission of the remaining Tibetan, and then because we're running, don't have much time left, he said in the future we can read through the English, and hopefully he'll teach on it, and we can go slowly. So it's really wonderful to read this. It's important to read these verses. There's so much contained here, like how to think about the, selfless nature, like what is non-self, what is the selfless nature, what are the faults of samsara. So in reading these and reflecting on these verses, there can be great benefit.
Maybe just project only English, because most people don't read Tibetan. I read Tibetan, and you can just...
We can read it as he's reading.
English, okay, yeah. Oncho le don chemba de shi ji drupa jingwe lam de nyevrden. Tetse chem ne ngombar song ji de chemba nyambi chu gunji gunjo. Tse ne nomo longe taba yi chu yi chu rubi jam metana. Ong yung yi ji lokwa le senkong kangla tenne ngon sar che. These 55, I think, is a very famous verse.
With all its many risks, this life endures no more than wind-blown bubbles in a stream. How marvelous to breathe in and out again, to fall asleep and then awake refreshed.
Lunta tarva tamkar tardrujin tamram meson ingbo manchiba numberin jigding yakwar chirwa de sosor chichu jendun chembranzo. So these talk about our bodies. That's not only women or men or anybody. Sadon lumbo jamso nyaman dun barbe zikbi lujenda danyo tarwa tsamyo lubar minjo na hindu nyamchung tamu ki mita mu jinsa tedan deku mita dangme tang jamin gongme nemi tele dun kurwa chushin yungbo me bala mancho chuji to yungzu. Next page. Jamsom jigni nyashin huga to ribbon tribi fejong tundrole many cheto gawe mewonki tamchuju ba tendrenchi brunzo. Kanshi zernu renchen treba ye ngenchu chakbarchi ba tewi jang. Kanshi meru jene digbata jibatene chirab lumbala. Tumbar churvi yorna nebatan jiwa tambala ne tembatan. 당니 링몽요 소남진 콜로 쳔부신 출랑아. So this verse 65 is also a very famous verse. Sorry, not 65, 61. 61. Gevi yinya temba changjuji yongsu juba tubizong teje jiva tamba tenji jarvala tene rabda mambusheva top. So how get benefit from getting teachings from teachers. Logbar tawan zindon tundro ton yedan yeton nyarbar jewa ton jarwa kami paton takop to lalo jeton lingji kukbate. So these are 18 what we call
the
leisure.
inopportune states.
체능 라로 공연 중화때 제와 시지 መን컴 종제부 መን컴 바지는 다르성이나 컴바차고로 on verse 64.
So if you are free from the eight inopportune states, then you have that qualifies as genuine leisures.
대다 당정 컴비니에는 제반 독빌레던 배번도 대윈 도빈 폰ton 제바동 가도 나서 동을 터마에 중년 코르발라는 존재진 대인이 비시죠 셈버죠 파네 분이 많이 충만히 제워 자죠 반다 시인이 동 독반이든 집이 텔레든 코르바탈랑 예방가 많지 레레 잠소실레 사바이 원만 통대 다동 소소의 제우 지선 중인 코르바회 대위 체몬이 이제 동사로 레레 당이 루비 풍보는 흠보냠반이 이제 대저데 마이 통다 자슈 측거장 리버저 사이롱면요 verse 69 자인직탄 초부 초는 레제 온게 자용 사탄던 콜로 줄바니도 초르네 좀 콜바다도 양전인든죠 토리 포문 너마케 발리 릭비데바 유레니오네라 냐르바타죠 베빈 총코르지 릭바니도 메제탄 살로 Combat been number desumble, Humbo Pola, Uranian, Larium Memo, Ronya, Jovaya, Dungarmese, Ponium Chinsalo. Tori, Fomun Ronshin, Gazartan, Number Zens are somber Zen and Tar, Dama Radins and the Nal, Dratsana Namki, Kanla Nawana to Toberjo, Tarjifa, High Homoye, Tonzi Sergi. Obredenshoni, Larium, Nyarvicho, Rameba, Tagu. Sula Chutenjong Salo. Verse 74. Sayundu de Hindu Chembadan, Sani Chagr Devatan, Nami May fishing chona, Dungarjumi Chepratansa. Nimandawa Ninton Ronlu, Wuji Jixan Tada, Nanshin, Larium Muna, Ma to Chinjone, Rangalak, Combarmentonjo. This is the defect of samsara.
And particularly the hell realms, which is exactly where we're at in our contemplations on the defects of samsara.
Ted Nomi Jones of Sunam Namson Marmin, Noma Raptions, Jibun Yamandava Mitzvim, Munantata Nonton Yoksal. Simche Neba Juba Junam, the Yonson Tina Rab the Sava Dunjum Mumbu, Namela so Minervata to Taz Dunganjo. Kaji Terhiter the Tishin, the Hen and Chima, Shim the Chamalo, Kaji Soklin Rajin Tishin, Taremizi, Sono Namchi. Sure. 79, verse 79. Tishin, that Troju Shuba, Ye, Kuman Barbin Chupa Dubershi, Kaji Charges are Shimbar, Ram Barvan Senmajan to Kunda, Jubershi, Kaji Jajin Cheva Dembichi, Tumbombi, Lakban Nam to drink. Mission that action number ton, some of Mazit and Becanum talk. Kaji Zimba Burvan Autoton, Shadron Romana Potrata, Rigni, Mazon, Master Chenjimbi, Savage in Dread Ringando, Kaji Dami, Nervous Sosun, Jumeche Barabs, Kayan, Kaji Charlie Shibi Sanchent, Jitsum Gigi, Jumpen, Shindu Zer, Diggin Jungava Zamchik, Tujin Taruchuna, Nerva Dungashan. Sharjin Tone Namtonton, Menji Kanla Dorji Rangino. 84. Never Triban Tondon to Baton Chanton Lato Soxichenam, Jibat Jeverchana Mezibi, Naminyamsonana Moju, Jinsar. Deva Kunjinan, Sisiva, David Dabocheva, Shedava, Teshi Dungar Kunjinan, Nam Nervi Dungar Ramesi. Then a ninjing Dungtong Sumjay rap the chart of Dungar Kang Laba, telling Yervi Dungar Chungoyon, or Yon Miki, Larium Put. Ted the Dungar Shin the Mizil, Shiva Chajan Yamson Yon, Shisi Migi Tizi Majova, Tisi Zoton Chara Minjoro. Migin drained the Namji Sound Luna Yijinichi Chujine, Gigi Tedor Tamian Manchibi, Tedder Niji Sergeant Bebenzo. 89. Tundru jene nangyo soba dang, jing tong tek so dongar na soba shijur gewa pongwa namla ne jigla jigza shindo mezeba. This is animal run, suffering. Kaji metek far tang rupa tang sha tang pakpi che tang che wan jo, omi shen da dokwa lakba tang kya tang jak chu daba tang de kor. Yeda nangyo dobin pongwa ye, hungry ghost. Jibi dongar juncha menchu ba trikum chong ru ngar tang jikwa ye, jiba shindo meze ten salo. Kaji nan kabji mek zamla, toba riyi to zam chimba ye, me chong chenar fulwa jung zi jung sarvin tutun den balans malaso. Kaji pauri lu shin jirwu ye tali yong to kamba da wu yong, kaji sen yin kanen barwa ye, sesun barwa kabar shivan sar. 94. Meringa xin nada chesa na chasong me chong hwa yung minye de pensui dong tu zong xin rinpa na bawa minbe nang zalo. Yida namla suki tusin dawa charwa gun nima chang, jiong xin rivu minjur teda jiong teba zamje long yung kambar jur. Farchi mebar dungar dan jurba, nyebra jiwi leji shakwa na sabin chingwi lujen kaji lo. Nga tong ta tong chir yung chir minjur. Tedar yida namje na chokbe dungar rojin tongwa kang lakwa teyi jini jiwo junga wa serna. 오메 라브르 상제존 토리 나야 대천 대단은 치포 등아리네 테베체 더다삼네 야람 남제는 세존 토리 레트 지미체 99 루지 칸도모도 저바동 딴dom메 간 정원이냐도 고동 처마차 봐도 응원치 대회 있었어 가드란 토리 치포 정진 치팅아 사열네 베산을 중도 사등만은 치브르 저바동 좀버치빈 치대 나온다 사인 직탄 단는 보바던 가드 개비 라방 가면은 되네 오미 튼로 예다다 녀관네바 강요를 문제 삼미탄 this is what we call demigods 삼미탄은 랑이진은 파르라 당치 이지동아 저더 노동 단연 저와에 되베되면 통한 많지서 코르반드라라고 삼미톤 녀와예다 튼로 남다는 제와 송보 말아 제와는 노바트민 우줄란체 조 104. Ngoan kola lower meshona tedan dokche jevatanen yonsi mebrichili bezarde tevi chinjo kon la shenmanji. Tsutem tatan samten sherabdan yangen deje turva chemebe kompom mekan menche se menza sachum melon nyenda chartamzo. Chanton churam je don zondru no gatan shindo jonto tingzi don tonyum dindu xiongchu yanlad yangen de jivi ketsola. When we talk about 37 body factors, we have these 7, what do you call?
37.
7 branches of...
the 37 factors of enlightenment?
These are 7. Chanton churam jeton zondridon, gadan shimdo jonton tingzinton, tonyum de tu xiongcho yanlaji. 106.
So these are 106. 7 of these are mindfulness, discernment, diligence, a joyful mind, and flexibility, concentration, and evenness. The 7 limbs are elements that lead to Buddhahood. They gather virtue and attain the state beyond all pain.
Shera meper, something you made, something on the meper, shera me. Quand la tenue you basi by a not Janson Nagita and Sarachita. Sherap said, not so. Som gomsom ji shera kechemoro te shera mevayena aso samten jam gom javya mars gom ajana de shera moni chi ronjul cheg mar tend de ningat kechemoro son da manche gavga
So wisdom is very important. Wisdom, like there's the wisdom from hearing, wisdom from contemplating, wisdom from meditation. With meditative concentration, there also has to come wisdom. Without wisdom, then concentration alone is not sufficient for liberation.
Luma temba ju jinjik tena nime nyenje ramsum kongdala tada nala sambar mechi te lo ni shevarin chemberzo 109 Marik Pali led these are the 12 links of interdependent, how samsara emerged. It's good to have. Sometimes people if ask, what is 12 lengths? Oh, yeah.
Memorize this
says
verse
here.
and you have it right there.
Yeah.
Verse 110.
Yeah. Marik Bali Le de Telena, Namshi
Right,
Tele
right.
Meng Ton Song Rab Jong.
No, 109.
109, yeah. Marik Bali Le de Telena, Namshi Tele Meng Ton Song Rab Jong, Tele Kenchi Cho de Telena, Rukba Kundon Jong, Trube Song. Rikpa Len Surba Kunjong, Survi Shili Zipan Jong, Zili Lemba Jewan Jurvat, Tele Zipa Zili Jewala, Jewa Yona Kashi Yang Tang, Dobin Ponton, Cheton Jigso, Dongar Pumbo, Shinto Chenjong, the Jewan Gok with Tegun Gokmanjor. Tenjin Reverend Jong the Jarva Songin Zuchi Jepa Samote, Kangen, then Yondan Tong, Sonji the Nirigwan Namton. So Nagarjuna think is 112 is the interdependent origination is the most important part of the Buddhist teaching. Yongda Dadong so don't draw about 10 something thing out and land on Yongda Dong, Lamji and like then the Shivriji Ligumberzo. So again, 113 is the eight, what called noble path.
The Noble Eightfold Path.
So if you memorize these texts, then
you know everything.
You know everything. Yeah, really.
The lists, all of the most important lists are
very
here.
concise way. And I think we are 112. 见的等儿是把切切把体育工作听的体育工作加起是通过班的他吧拉特top 级旁拉面拉级特级拉特的旁边等把学报单通过起来到的中不去帮那班的亲把南级中西边牛木全部来个去空大穷等把去把他南里发把马拉老头先杀人呢同马拉特当我牛木着个叔叔就会 Nyam tang charwe, charla hajang, mang jen sare, penbe tama, tombonde, la de, chuji tungdor zoji, jumdenji, semne chuji zawa labar song. Chulan de ke damba kang la de, bibi gelong ki jong, jiva ka, dele kang shi jubi ngowo de yoden tembe kutse tongyun zo. 190. Kunji jiyo, Kunji Java Kunla Yiron, Niji Libertiva Namson, Sanji Nitop, Jele Yongone, then he gave a Pumbo Teishi. So, final dedication should be done. Java Pada me Basayan and Jikan Kunja Namjar on the Pau. Papa Jiran Song, Jubayan, Roanyam Tamambo Jisong. Tron and Nakandocha, Shadon, Sarda Sanji to jump then the Wupam Meton driver Jikan Gombo, which a Pada Mebranzo. Sherab Sutram. Dongjung Changche Chimame, Sayo Namkatan, the Satin Jinzen, Sala Meton Tori Lan and Nachonjo, Degi Gawa Nebarab the Shinzenzo, Nomunyam Tat Simchan Sojin Jiket Shiva, Chiva Shinzi, Jarve Ombo, Ni, Jikan Lende Meson Hilla, Miningwa, Mendri Gomba, Menge Kompon, Nebranzo. 20. Now it's end, anyway, colophon. A she between Lopon Papa Ludru, Jarbo, and Zawo Jarbo, they just la Corvatso, so Jagadjin Kemba, Sarvanjana Devat, she changed the laws of a Pendekava, Pakto, George, Hudit, and La Papa. You can take it long.
Okay, so just the colophon is, this completes the letter to a friend written by the Sublime Master Nagarjuna to a friend, King Surabhibhadra. It was translated, corrected, and authenticated by the learned Indian abbot Sarvajanadeva and the great reviser and translator Venerable Paltsek.
Okay, that is, I'm sure, past 12, but hope everyone...
Not much, only 4 minutes.
Okay. It's
okay.
Okay. So that is so far our time limits we can do, but of course, according to Nagarjuna, it's amazing that we are still alive. So gather back and maybe we can discuss in the future these texts or something else. And so we do dedication, and today we stop here. Then please read English version or English or whatever language you read. And this text is really condense everything in here. It's good for self, means good for others. So when someone asks you or you wanted to remind yourself that what those are and what we need to do, it's everything in here. Oh, I'm speaking English.
Yeah, that's great. No. Education. Yeah.
Durna ta tene nga tsun tham dana xaas. Tene dan din thama maris. Tene yang chun zum ya ki rewa yu.
So we conclude here, and this isn't the end. He says he hopes to meet with us again and again and again.
Dedication.
So we can do the dedication.
You recite page 17, today's the Dalai Lama's birthday. It seems auspicious that the master of
Okay.
Sure, thank you.
We have Conley Jarvey.
On page 17 of the prayer book, the Long Life Prayers.
Mm-hmm. So His Holiness 14th Dalai Lama's birthday, these days all over the world they are celebrating, and we are also can participate in chant, reciting his long life prayer here. Kang ri rarwe gorwe jingam so pendan dewa malun jungwe ne jeren sengwa tenzin janzo ye jabe zinde bardo denjo je.
For this realm, encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of every benefit and bliss without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, you who are one with Avalokiteshvara, may you remain steadfast until samsara's end.
O sunam de tamje sekvani
Dona, page 18. Domne lebe danam
pamje de jega nanje balon trubaye zibin solen roa.
Page 18. It's page 18? Yeah. By the merit I have accumulated, may I overcome all erroneous attitudes and reach the omniscient state. May all sentient beings who are suffering in the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death be freed from the ocean of samsara. And then Chitang 24. Yeah. So bottom of page 24. By the virtues collected in the 3 times, by myself and all beings and samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikungpa Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kimbo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wish we have more time there.
Well, one thing I thought of was maybe, sometimes when we don't have a Lama here, perhaps we can do the reading in English as a group from where we left off and go through slowly.
Really good. This condensed form of everything. It's everything here. One thing I want to